Welcome to the Homeschool Mama Support Group here in Facebook. If we haven't already met, I'm Teresa. I'm Teresa Wiedrich, the certified life coach, the homeschool mentor, and graduated homeschool mom of 4 kids. I have been doing this homeschool mom life coaching thing since 2019 officially. And here in my Facebook group, I hope to connect with you live Tuesdays at 2:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you're here live, you're always welcome to ask questions and interact, and I'm happily able to answer your questions. One of the things I'm doing is moving into a season for encouraging homeschool moms to reimagine their homeschool lives. So if you want to reimagine your homeschool life, and I'm confident that you can, step 1 is to determine what your homeschool family life would look like if you could wave a magic wand and make it exactly as you would like it to be. So just imagine for a moment, just imagine, or grab your journal and a pen, which will help you imagine on paper and get a little clearer. What would your homeschool family life look like if you could wave your magic wand and make it exactly like you would like? Have you got a picture or an idea in your head? It's this time of year, even if you're an all-year schooler, that we often are thinking about what will we do next year? And so I think this is the right time to reimagine our homeschool lives. I homeschooled my 4 kids. They're almost all grown now. 3 are launched. And when I look over the themes of my homeschool life, the challenges that I had that I grappled with, I wasn't mostly grappling with curriculum or what kind of method should I choose, or how do I, decide on specific resources or activities for the kids, or what should my routine be like, or definitely not the socialization question. What should I do about my kids' socialization? Don't even get me started. If I could homeschool my family all over again, which would be so much fun. I know it's a lot right now for those that are doing it, but it is so much fun too. So many beautiful memories. But if I could do all of that, I would definitely work a lot more quickly to shed what's not working so I could show up more authentically and confidently and intentionally in my homeschool life. Here are the 8 things that I am going to speak a lot about over the next couple weeks to reimagine your homeschool life. But these 8 things are things that I have learned to do along the way. First of all, I'd clarify my why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I would re-clarify every year that I went into my homeschool life. I would say, okay, why am I doing it this year? What's the reason? What's the vision for my homeschool? And is the vision and my goals in my homeschool, or my values in my homeschool, are they going to practically align with the chosen activities that I have chosen, and the extracurricular choices, or the curriculum, or the resources? Is that aligning with my why? The second thing I would do is to explore the strategies I had in the last year to help me address my frustrations or my overwhelm, because I don't want to be as frustrated or overwhelmed. I want to create more strategies to address that stuff. And I believe we homeschool moms are invited on a growth journey as our kids are also growing, but we're called on a different growth journey. Maybe some of us have figured out how to multiply fractions before we teach our kids, but all of us are about to learn how to grow in addressing our frustration and our overwhelm. Also, just for the record, I did not learn how to multiply fractions before my kids. So I had to learn that, and I had to learn how to address my frustration and my overwhelm. So that's the second thing that I would do to reimagine my homeschool, is to explore strategies to turn my oft-repeated moments of frustration and overwhelm into opportunities for growth. The third thing I would do was lean harder into child-inspired learning more quickly. Despite my fascination with Charlotte Mason and Susan Wise Bauer's books on classical homeschooling, and also my fascination with a multitude of colored markers and my daytimer and my plans, I would instead lean faster into child-inspired learning, because I'm not raising up a homeschool method. I'm raising up a specific child in front of me. So I'd lean into child-inspired learning. The fourth thing that I would do is I'd work with a coach. I really would. I don't even know that coaching was a thing when I was homeschooling. In my early days, I'm not sure. I don't think I'd ever heard about that. If you'd said coach, I would have thought, you mean like NFL, or are you talking about the NBA? What are we talking about here? I wouldn't have known that, but I know from personal experience coaching and also in my coaching with homeschool moms that people have massive shifts towards clarity or confidence, or just like a perspective shift that just changes everything in their homeschool lives. And I wish I had done that early on, because I definitely needed it, and I learned the hard way, not the perspective shifting way. The fifth thing that I would do was, if to reimagine my homeschool life, I'd use all that I understood about how kids are and how they really learn or observe each of my kids. And then I'd revamp my routines, my planners. I'd revamp my curriculum choices to reflect the real kids in front of me. Because it's easier. Like, really, sometimes we're expecting things from our kids that are just not going to happen. And hindsight is 2020, they say. I wish we could scratch that. Could we not say 2020 anymore? But anyways, hindsight is 2020. I've learned you cannot make something happen just because you want to with certain kids. Some kids you can make them compliant. Not sure that's a good idea. But I do think that you can learn from the things that are actually working to move into the things that are true. Who are your children really? How do they actually learn? What are their needs? How do I connect with them? That would be the most important part. Oh, and about day timers and routines and planners and curriculum choices, I would also learn to time block my life. If you want to learn more about time blocking and how to evaluate or clarify the details, the things that you're doing in your daily life, and whether they really are aligning with who you are and what you're all about, and is this really working for my kids, then join me in the Confident Homeschool Mom Collective, and we can put together a workshop just for that purpose, to time block your life. The sixth thing I would do to reimagine my homeschool is that I would work to learn more about myself, do a much quicker deep dive on me. This self-growth journey that I was speaking about earlier, it is going to happen as a mom, whether we choose it or not. We have to get to know ourselves. We'll definitely learn all the challenging elements of ourselves because we're moms, and that's just an inevitability. But I would like to choose it a little more. I would be more intentional about it and create plans to support it. I would learn more about my internal boundaries, the ones that I want to instill for myself. And I would learn about my external boundaries and learn the difference between me and other people, where the line is between me and others, so that I would both be happier in the relationships, but also be supporting more healthy, growing relationships. I would certainly learn how to nurture the nurturer and spend more time doing that, so I could nurture healthier family dynamics, so I could understand my kids more completely. No matter how challenging certain kids can be, I would be more intentional about nurturing myself. There's a reason my book's called Homeschool Mama Self-Care Nurturing. And I would also find someone to help me learn those strategies to handle my big emotions. I spoke earlier about frustration and overwhelm, but there's also anger and doubt and, feeling sad at certain seasons, not knowing how to handle certain emotions when PMS season was coming around, or the week in the month where I was challenged by that. There's so many different big emotions that as moms, we just kind of stuff it. And we just say, I don't have time for this right now. I'll deal with that later, even though later never comes, because that is a couple decades. And we don't really address our big emotions. We tend to just react. We either get angry outward or we go inward angry and get sad and depressed. So how are we going to honestly handle our emotions? I wish I knew to do that, I wish I had someone to walk alongside me to help me do that, to learn the strategies and actually implement them, have some gentle accountability to make sure it happened. And the 8th thing I would do to reimagine my homeschool life is I would embrace this very important mothering truth. This very important mothering truth that there is not one right way to homeschool. There is not one right way to mother, and there will never be a time where I get to perfection. You will homeschool and mother perfectly, imperfectly, along with the rest of us, differently, but still imperfectly. And there won't be a time that I'll declare I did it perfectly or you did it perfectly. So we need to just accept that the goal of mothering isn't about doing anything perfectly. It isn't about making a product out of our kids or make sure that our kids have the perfect education, but rather to grow right alongside them in our growth journey. With their help, of course, because there are mini mirrors. So there'll be a lot of learning from them. And then we'll discover how imperfection can lead to more confident homeschool parenting and also our life choices in general. So yeah, these are the things that I would do to reimagine my homeschool life. How about you? I'd love to hear what you are doing at the end of this year so you can shift into the next year in a different approach or in a different way. What would you do different? How would you reimagine your upcoming year? It's so lovely to spend some time with you. I would love to get behind the screen if you always want to join, or if you'd like to join me for a no obligation conversation at some point, just let me know and I'll leave you a link and we can chat still behind a screen. But we can chat and have a conversation to create a plan to help you reimagine your homeschool. Or you're also welcome to grab the Reimagine Your Homeschool training, which you can access just by writing Reimagine in the comments below, and I'll make sure to get it to you. I hope you have a lovely homeschool week.